Hey everybody, welcome to ArchaeoX. This is a special time. I'm coming to you live on a remote location. We have guests tonight. We have a guest host, and we're going to be interviewing Adam here, but we are also going to be talking to our favorite crystal healer I won't say conspiracy, we'll just say alternative history seeker, Aron Kupcho. He'll be joining us later tonight also. So for now, I'm going to introduce Adam.
Hello.
Yeah. So Adam has a diverse background. Everyone should be really excited about this because he is a master brewer. So we're going to get into that. Also 13 or 12,000 year old brewing recipes, which by the way, was one of the way our ancestors survived. God knows what. We're going to get into all of that right now. So before we get into all the future, the possibilities of where brewing has saved literally our entire lives, what got you into this to begin with? I mean, can you tell everybody just a little bit of your, how did you get into becoming a master brewer, let alone, and then there's the part where I'm going to ask you about becoming a master brewer, but what made you do that?
Well, I guess to start with it, I mean, if you want the truth, if you could never get a fake ID, but you could make the product yourself. So I figured out how you could make
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, I mean, it literally is. So, and then eventually I went directly to making everything from scratch and then finding that out how everything just flows together. You find the science behind it through the chemistry, and then you find the school for it as well. Then you go to Germany and you get a master's in it. So,
how long were you in Germany working on this?
I was in Germany only for about 6 months, but we went around Europe. We did all laboratory work. One of our biggest tours was when we went to all the monk monasteries and everything. So,
and some of those have been brewing since Roman times.
I mean, you can go back 13,000 years to like archaeological finds, and you can find fermenters out of rocks, out of granite.
But you're studying from monasteries that have been brewing for hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's pretty wild. So I was born in Frankfurt. So not that matters to brewing, but you got to be in my fatherland for 6 months. Where I
do you speak German?
Nein, ich spreche nicht gut Deutsch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nicht gut.
How long did you live in Germany for?
So I was there for the first 2 years of my life. So the hardest part is when my parents came back, they would speak German, and they would speak German to each other, and they would read me German stories. So I grew up, and later all those books are put away. So fast forward, I'm in high school, junior high and high school, and I'm learning German again, but it's coming hard, right? I'm going to go to Germany when I'm 19, and every word is going to be easy to hear. But while I'm learning German and struggling through it, my mom pulls out my children's books, and I remember every content of every story and what every story was about. And they were not in English. I thought they were. And they were all in German. And like, this blows. Did you pick it up while you were there?
9.
Yeah,
I mean, when I was there, every single place you went to, as soon as you started speaking English, the Germans just started speaking. They have no time of day for you to fumble around German.
Yeah, so they're just gonna get it done and get your money.
Yeah.
So I want to geek out a little bit before we get into 13,000-year-old brews and Sumerian stuff and Incan stuff and whatever else. What is the most fascinating thing about the chemistry of it? What you were learning? What makes good beer?
Water. Simple. I mean, the water chemistry.
Really?
You can't make a German lager without German water.
Good point.
So you just break it down to water. Make sure everything. I mean, you don't want to brew with city water from. Yeah.
No. Don't do city water.
So
you're going through an extensive process to get. Is there a best kind of mineralized water? Or is it just that you take out chlorine and bleach and?
No. What you would like to do is have a reverse osmosis system. So an RO system, you break everything down to the bare minimum. So you just have a blank canvas. Okay. Now you can look up different cities, different water profiles, and you can add back to your water profile exactly how you would like that water to be.
Are you doing that in kombucha too? Because you're brewing kombucha.
Now I'm brewing kombucha because with the masters, I am also a recovering alcoholic, but talking about beer, but progressed my life into or transitioned into kombucha. Kombucha, same thing. Break it down to water.
Which has been around for a long time.
Been around forever.
So all these things also lead us back into some questions about maybe some of the origins or some of the, I mean, I'm always talking about millions of years of human history, but it's clear even 13,000 years ago. So I guess we're going to pause on that and get that. We're going to maybe get into, maybe not so much just the history of it, but I really want to dig into so many questions. I have so many questions around the quality of, as you know, I'm a cider fan, so I'm always going to personally dig or rely on you to make something good and better. But, we're going to bring on Aron soonish. So I figured we'd introduce our guest since you're co-hosting with me. We get to do that. We get to end with brewing kombucha and beer, and of course some of your rated R versions of why you ended up going from beer to kombucha. we gotta make this public palatable podcast, but I feel like there's some bad decisions in there that we get to discuss.
There are some bad decisions in there. So.
Unlike some of the bad decisions that are maybe we're gonna capstone the show with, we're gonna bring on Aron Kupcho and have him back for, well, we're gonna be covering a number of conspiracies and things that are okay, all platform digestible and appropriate and approved. So with no further ado, let's bring him on. Aron.
Hey, how's it going?
Up, Aron.
Hey, Adam, Aron.
Nice to meet you.
Yep, nice to meet you too as well.
Yeah, if there's two people here that actually know a lot about chemistries of things, it would be you, sir, and you, sir. Between the two of you, there's some great deep knowledge for growing things and developing things. Yeah, I guess that's not collegiate. I guess we can't cover all of it. How are you doing, Aron?
I'm good. So yeah,
I appreciate you coming on as a guest tonight. What again, for those that don't know, we've had you on as a crystal healer to just discuss crystal healing. We're going to cover a few more subjects tonight. Do you want to share with us kind of the overview of what you want to cover?
I was just thinking, since it's the Halloween season and stuff, I was thinking maybe some spooky subjects, like say MK Offen and maybe Jack Parsons, and kind of talking about the cult and other practices like that, and how our government has always been involved with the occult and witchcraft and everything else, and throwing all that other stuff in there as well. So.
Cool. All right. So did you? Okay. We don't even MK Ultra. Sure. Let's get there eventually.
Yeah. This is actually an offshoot program. Once MK Ultra was getting shut down in the 1970s, it's called MK Offen, and the CIA and the U.S. government, they were recruiting sorcerers and psychics and occultists, and they were using ritual magic, spirit channeling, and remote viewing to help influence minds. And it actually, some rituals worked too well according to them, so that's kind of why they had to eventually shut the program down, which it's really relatable to Jack Parsons. So so the founder of a jet propulsion fuel, Jack Parsons, was a known occultist, and that's pretty much why NASA revoked his clearance, why they had to name a crater on the moon, but of course they named the one on the dark side of the moon is a little shot to him. We don't even care about this one. It's just whatever on the back side of the moon is kind of a little shot to him. But he did a lot of stuff with the occult, and he was working with Aleister Crowley, Ron Hubbard, way back in the day, and he was trying to do some, ritual magic where he was doing, this invoking. This word here is this is the sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage, and it's 3 books. The first 2 are little stories and allegories, kind of like a little adventure story about Abramelin. and where he gets all of his knowledge from like King Solomon and learns all the spells and how to control all the jinn and everything else and control like, you know, the elementals, the spiritual world and everything. And then the last book is all like practical magic. And one of the main spells where you're supposed to go through a whole year-long process of like fasting and grounding yourself and like certain diets and prayers and like abstinence and all this other stuff where you have to get yourself in like a mental frame for like a year. It's then you invoke like according to the thing, you invoke Lucifer or, you know, or like Satan, whatever you want to, you know, call him, and you invoke him, you bring him up, you bind him, and he does your will. And then and supposedly Aleister Crowley tried it. He failed. He did it over at the house where eventually Led Zeppelin and their members like bought the house, and they were trying a bunch of the same like spells and witchcraft and everything else over.
Wait, what? Led Zeppelin 4?
Yeah. So that's actually how the band broke up. Is they all took a sigil. Robert Plant was like huge at the occult. They all had their own sigils. You know, except for the only one who didn't really get affected. You know, so then they did that. They tried to do a bunch of the ritual magic, a bunch of the other stuff, and they said
a
some of the stuff
sigil.
Yeah.
Sigil.
So
they're dropping acid.
No, a sigil is like it's like a symbol. So it's like a religious symbol. So it's like a religious symbol.
See, I went straight to R-rated.
That's pretty close.
So so the sigils are all based off of King Solomon back in the day. He had different sigils and different like little symbols that you can wear that would control all the different jinn and everything. I've got like a bunch of different ones I can maybe show you and like bring up different stuff. And they control like the elemental spirits, and they control the different jinn and the different, you know, and then when you wear these, you're able to, you know, like manifest those other, you know, to harness like the dark energies to kind of work for you. You know,
so you're saying, hold on, Led Zeppelin did this, and that's where they came up with the symbols and sigils for them.
Yep. And because they were huge Aleister Crowley fans. You know, they even talk about Aleister Crowley. They did the backmasking on their records where they were putting all the different, you know, all the different like, oh Lord, sweet Satan, all the sweet, you know, and all like, you know, the backmasking you can hear in a bunch of their stuff and everything else.
All right.
So they were like huge in the occult.
All right. Okay,
so they were huge into the occult, and they were huge into Aleister Crowley, who, you know, they talk about him. I mean, that dude was like the most wicked man alive. He called himself the Beast 666 and everything else. And he was like, I mean, he was kicked out of like so many different societies. He formed his own eventually, like his own like you know, little society, and they did like ritual sex magic. And
yeah, he was big into that. That's where I was going next. Magic. Yeah, that's almost not rated R.
Yeah. So it was like.
Yeah. Where brewing and making bad decisions with beer.
Where Jack Parsons was doing sex magic. Jack Parsons was doing the same stuff, and he was doing it with like Hollywood celebrities, NASA employees, everyone. They were all having huge parties at his house, and it was like everyone, you know, everyone was like all intermingling, doing witchcraft, having ceremonies, trying to open up like portals together, doing ritual magic, and he was saying that how he created the jet propulsion system was he got a download, the same as, you know, from like an entity when he was doing one of his little rituals and helped him with like the formula and everything, and we still to this day use that formula. You know, I mean, it's still the you know, what we have to use for like jet propulsion. Like we would not be flying like, you know, like beyond with, you know, without that stuff.
What crystals were they using?
Yeah, what crystals were they using? Did you hear that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, for like the crystals, I'm sure that it's quartz stuff. So they always use quartz stuff. So, you know.
All right. So look,
I interrupted. Yep. Go on.
No, I digressed on the whole Led Zeppelin thing, and you were trying to get into the book and the overall. I had to stop at Led Zeppelin, but
I know it's totally cool. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole fascination with Led Zeppelin, is the whole occult influence that they had and everything. So, but it like went bad. That's why they had to break up the band. Like members died, and like family members, like Robert Plant's kid died, and all this other, so it was like all because of after it all happened after they started living over Aleister Crowley's house that everyone said don't go there. His house on Loch Ness is cursed, and they were like, and they went there and they tried to do the exact same rituals that he was doing. And the house is right because they were huge into the occult, and they were like thinking that like they can gain, gain fame and everything. So I mean, that's kind of
that one up.
They did, ultimately.
Yeah.
It worked.
Well, they did gain infamy. I mean, if you think about it, they did gain infamy. So they are like one of the most famous bands ever.
Yeah. Well, one could argue that they had good music too, but was it because or despite the ritual magic?
No. I think it's because but then if you think about the duality of man, the yin and yang, that's why we're all fascinated by that kind of stuff, anyways, because it's all inherently like we're all the yin and yang. We're all, there's balance, and so the balance is on the outside, and you can look at everything as separate, or you can realize that like the balance is also within too. So it's the same thing. So.
Right. So I digressed off the book. I apologize. Was there anything specifically about the book you wanted to bring up?
Oh no, yeah. Everyone who's ever tried to perform that I've heard that's actually tried to perform the thing, it's backfired, and life has gone miserably downhill. Aleister Crowley, he went downhill. Led Zeppelin, they tried to perform the ritual, their shit went downhill. Members died, kids died. Like
explain how
Jack Parsons. The same with Jack Parsons. Like he didn't, because I'm sure they can't actually do. A lot of them said they can't actually do the whole abstaining and everything else. I mean, you're supposed to go for a whole year and live as like a Buddhist, like a monk, live as pure as possible, like have it like tread as lightly as possible, have pure thoughts, have everything else, so that your heart is pure enough to be able to like withstand this amount of evil and darkness that you're about to bring up, without it overtaking you.
What were we gonna say?
What is the process of the ritual?
So it's like, it's funny, like so there's like this other book too, this other like grimoire. There's only a couple. So this one was huge. So this is the dragon. So this one right here is the authentic red dragon and the black hen. And it's kind of like along the same lines where it's ritual magic and it's like a grimoire. This thing was selling like, was originally it was written in 1521, and then it was like redone in the late 17 and early 1800s, and it was huge. It was selling more than the Bible everywhere, and people were doing, because it's practical magic where they can just little spells or whatever. And your mind is like a crazy thing. If you start putting belief in something, then you start to see reality. Like mimic whatever you believe in, kind of. But but then the spell or whatever is basically like the thing that's kind of funny is that the beginning of it is that they say prayers to God to protect them, prayers to the angels, prayers to Jesus to help like protect them and then they do this crazy stuff where like some of them you have to bring up a portal with like a human skin and attack that, and that's like your portal. Or you have to like there's like other ones where like this one you just make like all the different shapes and you do the circle and the protection circle, and then you do like the different symbols that they want you to put on the ground, the different candles and everything else all around there, and the different prayers and the invocation prayers, and then you're supposed to have a bunch of other people all around you too, that are like on the outside that are like little protection and stuff for you on the inside and everything else. And it's like, yeah, but then you're like literally bringing up like, I think it's basically like what they're doing is kind of a way to like work with the ether, and they're kind of like, I think, opening up like ancient stargates that have been here forever. I mean, they've been proven there's like stargates all around this, you know, all around the world, where like tribes over like in the like native tribes, they talk about the stargates where like the people from the stars came and they educated them, and then there's also other beings that come from the stars as well, where they put the Lucifer telescope, where like NASA has it over on Mount Shasta. There's supposedly a portal and a stargate there. Supposedly there was one in Iraq that they found too, which was right over like the one in Iraq was right around where they found like the body of Gilgamesh and everything.
They're not really going to disclose where that thing ended up.
No.
So this is all part of your Halloween portion of things.
Yeah. So I mean, I figured it's all, you know, like kind of funny how like the CIA was using, you know, like sorcerers and going in and, you know, and they're like recruiting different and going to different covens of witches and stuff, and it came out with like these different like sorcerers and like covens and stuff like came out and like talked about it afterwards, and some of like the crazy like stuff that they were.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, this is again, Halloween aside. Why would the CIA? What was the motivation of bringing sorcerers?
Because it's they like sorcerers, psychics, occultists, anyone that had a touch with like the supernatural. They were trying to like
CYA.
yeah. They basically were trying to weaponize it. It's like the same as like the Montauk Project, you know, that like Stranger Things was based off of, where they were working with kids that had like gifted abilities and everything else, and so they try to weaponize that. It's basically anything that they're able to weaponize. You know, I mean.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, it is. It's as I guess if they're going to give it all a shot, why not if the rest of the country or the world's doing it?
God, I keep thinking about that. Have you guys seen the movie Weapons?
No.
You keep saying
no, I haven't seen it yet, though. I've heard about it. Yeah, I've heard like the whole premise.
I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like all like about like witchcraft, and like they're like weaponizing children essentially with witchcraft.
Yeah. This is a movie?
Yeah, it just came out.
Oh, what?
Which is basically kind of what they were doing. I mean, they were actually like proven they were really doing it. You know, this is like real. Like like these actually are declassified CIA documents. You can go up and look at like all the documents yourself and read it all. You're like, this is fucking real. This is crazy. This is like a fantasy book.
But you're talking about a movie that's out right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just in theaters.
Yeah, maybe like a month ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is real fiction. Real fiction. It's real fiction.
I don't know anymore.
Okay. So you're not.
Well, and speaking of portals, you know, CERN has been opening up portals forever. I mean, ever since they first opened up the collider back in 2012, they even admitted that they're opening up portals. The workers have come up and said that they see like things, apparitions have come in and out of portals and stuff. They opened up a portal supposedly like 6 days ago now to talk to the AE Atlas and to talk to them and stuff. Supposedly that's what they're saying. Who actually knows if they're just going to tell you some bullshit story, whatever, so they can.
Right, we don't know.
You know, have their own narrative. You know, so they're able to have their own narrative on things.
All right, so that's scary and terrifying. And why should we get into those? Anything you want to speculate on?
No, I mean, that sounds like some crazy rituals. Like, to be honest, a ritual would just be beer making back like 1,300 years ago. But
purifying it,
and beer making actually saved lives. I mean, because you couldn't drink like the regulars, so you know that you actually like drank the beer instead. And it's
no, Bacchus wouldn't have as many followers.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, right? God, just got that.
I guess it's all going to be. Hey, if we're gonna stay in that orbit of Halloween, I just feel like it's Bacchus appropriate.
Yeah.
Or is it Dionysus? I always forget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Adam's the, I don't know how much you caught of that before you came on, but Adam's a master brewer. So yeah, you're, we can dive a little bit of that with Aron on too. I mean, what's been some of your weirdest, did you hit any of those cults, or did you hear about any of those weird things in Europe around brewing, or just
not really? I mean,
it's too present. I mean, people want the stuff now, so it's not even a historical thing, is it?
I don't know. I mean, when I was in Germany, that was what, like 10 years? No, not 10 years ago. Oh my God, almost 18 years ago. The only the closest thing I got to a cult was the goth club that I lived above.
All right.
So
that doesn't count. That kind of counts.
Yes.
I mean,
I was.
All right.
You drink like, yeah, though I really like some German beers. They're like they have like so many different ones. There's like Lambics and Weissens and so many different ones and stuff over there and stuff. I really like the Franzenskanner. That's a really good, the Hafenweiss and stuff. I'm not a really huge fan of the Lambics though and stuff. I had a roommate who just like, yeah, I mean, like the same thing. He brewed. We had like a store, like a brick, like little storage unit and stuff where we would store all the bottles and stuff and everything. And then we also had a keg fridge and stuff too, for like stuff just to have on tap.
Oh, what was that, like 10 years ago when the market was just blowing up? Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, but he liked and then like the Lambics, he was like loving like those German Lambics and like those.
Yeah, I mean those Lambics. I mean you're using such wild like Brettanomyces and just wild yeast, and it's an art to really master that fermentation style. I got so much respect for those lambics, but they hurt my tummy. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm not a huge fan at all. I was like, dude, I can maybe do one and that's it. Like,
yeah.
So are those? I got a question for you on lambics, because I've had the first time I had one was Belgian.
Yeah.
So who started it, or is it everybody has a lambic, or is it like there's German ones, there's Belgian ones? Are they from Belgium, or are they?
They're all. I mean, everybody has
some sort of lambic.
Some sort of lambic.
What is it? Just because it's open air brewing? Is that it? What makes it a lambic?
The yeast.
All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure because I got all this understanding of, they had the slit windows and letting fresh air in, and they're doing open pools.
I mean, you can ferment anything with open fermentation. That's how like everything was fermented back in the day was open wild fermentation. They didn't care what it was, but literally just made whatever kind of alcohol you had. But it was I know that there were definitely German breweries that had open vats of Hefeweizen that were literally pumped up into the attics, and they had open vats, and they would open up the windows to get flow going through them, and you just get wild yeast that came in from your city, your town. That's the coolest thing ever. Is you'll never get that flavor anywhere else in the world except for certain places like that.
How is it that the air is carrying yeast? It's just in the air?
Yeah, it's
witchcraft.
I don't know.
Back to Halloween.
I mean, the world is just, there's wild yeast. Honestly, the world would be a perfect place for aliens just to be like, hey, that's where we're going to make beer. That world, that's our brewery.
There's just
water, oxygen, yeast.
And there's just yeast floating in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know. I just assumed they came in a pack, like when I want to make flour. Like I thought it came from the ground. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Like some sort of giant sponge culture and a giant, I don't know, they were shaking the sponge tree of yeast.
No.
I wonder if some of the lemons with like
that's
some
open
air. Yep, I wonder if some of those open air, like the lemons that you use for the Hafenweizen, if that originated way back with the open air ones to help, because lemon helps to counteract, and will like neutralize any disease and stuff. So I wonder if that was also like another.
Yeah, I mean, well, in Germany with the Reinheitsgebot, though, they don't even use lemons because they can't. It's a German purity law. So actually, that lemon flavor that you're getting out of the Hefeweizen is all about the yeast strain and stressing it out when you ferment it.
Is that like a champagne yeast that they're using for that?
Not for a Hefeweizen. No, it's a high flocculating yeast that it's an ale yeast strain.
Okay.
So
flocculating, what's it do? What does that mean?
or it's a low flocculating yeast. It does
Okay.
not drop out of suspension.
No,
So that's why you have Hefeweizens that are extremely cloudy, because there's always yeast in suspension.
Yeah.
Low flocculation means it won't drop out in time.
drop out of what?
Thank you for that question. Out of your fermenters, essentially. So most fermenters are shaped as a conical fermenter. It has a cone at the bottom. So in your fermenters, as it ferments, there are natural convection currents as it ferments. So it's moving
it's just
everything around,
happening.
just naturally,
All
kind
right.
of like a convection current in,
All right.
sure, whatever, an oven. It's recirculating.
Biologically.
So when it's done fermenting, it stops. And so some yeast that is high flocculating yeast, like a lot of ale yeast strains, will drop from the top down to the bottom of the cone, where you can start taking yeast off of it, where you can actually save money in breweries and harvest yeast from that. Instead of buying new pitches, you can continue to ferment out
The same yeast.
the same yeast. I mean, different brewers will say you can go only so many generations with a yeast strain, like 10 times, 20 uses. Some German breweries are continuing to use the same yeast strain from hundreds of years ago. So, but flocculation drops out of suspension, comes out of the cone, clarifies it. Hefeweizens tend to not be clear like a beer. They tend to be very cloudy, protein haze, a lot of things. And that's just the style of the beer. So,
And totally drinkable.
Hefeweizen, I think, is the most beautiful beer in the world, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, like a chilled Hefeweizen on like a summer day. Oh my gosh, on a nice
I
hot
know,
summer
dude.
day. It's perfect.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to make an NA Hefeweizen just so I can die having one that tastes just as good as sitting out on a German beer garden or something. So
All right. It's that good. What sets it apart?
Everything. The yeast profile, how you can ferment it. You can ferment it open fermentation, and that'll actually give it a lot more flavors. The yeast strain is super fun to play with, actually. You can ferment it at higher temperatures to get more of like a banana clove ester, or if you ferment it at a lower temperature, you kind of can get a cleaner one. When I say cleaner, it just subdues that banana profile or the clove profile. So
Okay, so it's definitely the flavor profile that just sets it completely apart from.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just a fun beer to have, because when you drink it, you're like, oh man, there's lemon in that, or there's like orange in that. And no, there's not supposed to be, actually. So when you are putting lemon in your wort or in your kettle, my apologies, but you're going against the German purity law and you're cheating.
You're cheating.
But
Why the purity law?
why the purity? You're gonna have to go back in time and ask them why they said that. I cannot remember from my history class. It might have been that Friday mornings we had beer tasting at 9 a.m. So just nobody paid attention to the history classes afterwards. So
Okay, that would pretty much set you out. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
9 to 10:30 in the morning, you're supposed to spit it out. Yeah.
But I'm guessing people weren't. Okay then. Aron, I didn't realize you had just as much of a love of beer as you did some other products.
Oh yeah, cider. Yeah, it's good. So
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, Adam has committed to helping us.
we're like cannabis, which like Shiva is like, and that's like huge in Hindu culture. Like Shiva, when he was a kid, when he was growing up, his parents got really mad at him, and so he actually went out into the field and he fell asleep under a leaf tree. And then when he woke up, he was like, "Oh, what is this? It smells kind of good." So he ate it, and then it made him feel nice and calm and relaxed. He's like, "I love this. I'm going to make this my food." And so now he became like the godfather of like cannabis in like Hindu culture.
All right. So from a beer production standpoint, well, not just beer. I mean, you learned how to ferment and brew. I mean, you have the chemistries down completely.
Yeah. Yes.
So, what's the most important part of the process then?
Cleaning, sanitation. I mean, if you want to get every brewer is going to say cleaning and sanitation.
And what are they doing 13,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago? Is it everything's like a seasoned wok? There's no real sanitation. It's not like they're using Dove.
Yeah, and I mean the beer like 13,000 years ago wasn't like the beer that we're drinking today. It was more like Groot, you know, like, kind of more like Groot than anything else. Because they would just put wheat, barley, and make like a very thin cereal mash with it, and they just put it in there, and they would ferment it in. Oh my gosh, let's see here. I wrote it down.
Kind of a clay thing, right?
They use stone mortars.
Stone.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then I'm assuming it was probably like a seasoned wok. Yes.
Yeah. There's no cleaning.
Yeah, it more like makes me cringe a little bit. But you don't have that.
But from a chemistry standpoint now, is there anything in modern times that are you happy about from production or a brewing standpoint? What if we were to mimic something like, let's say there's millions of years of human history, right? Well, which there are. But if you were making what today in brewing, you feel like there should be something, I don't know, is there some bottleneck in the process? Is there some technology that doesn't exist that you wish did? Because there might have been that technology in the past. So I'm wondering if when we're archaeologically finding amphoras and jars of wines and beers and stuff from Sumerian times, or I'm wondering if we went way back even further, and yeah, I guess metal turns to dust and there wouldn't be any more stainless or anything, but I'd be curious, like whatever the most advanced thing. So this is where I'm always digging with everyone about anything, is that something that's in our near present or in the near future may be a technology that is just lost, something that we're rediscovering. So it helps me look at anything left in antiquity, whether it's an object or whether it's could be just a spoon or a ladle that's left. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like those they look like knitting, those weird objects that are found in that they have no idea from Rome, that have the holes and they're like, oh, it was used for yarn or to knit something together. And they're like, no, it was a game, or no, it was math, or no, it was, so I always wonder, in this, because humans have had such a passion for brewing.
Yeah.
So it's like, so future question first, I guess. What do you feel like there's something?
Oh, I was just thinking too, along the lines of weed. Do you know that the origins of weed are extraterrestrial? They are not traced to this. The origins are not from any known anything on Earth ever. The origins of marijuana are extraterrestrial.
The seeds.
The origins, the strain, like when you can go back, you can genetically map something back to its origins. The origins are not from this Earth.
What?
Yep.
There's no plant that it relates to here on Earth. It is alien.
None. It's alien. 100% alien.
Like, are there any other plants?
Like octopuses, for instance. 100% alien. Nothing.
Octopuses.
Yeah, they have like 8 hearts.
Yeah.
They have a few brains.
They have proven that their DNA is not from anything that's ever been found in the history of this world.
Yeah, there's some other weird things about octopuses too, about their the number of colors they can see. And
they also found too that they can connect, that they like, it's just like, like dolphins, they also communicate via everything else. They're actually organized, like social. They have like whole social hierarchies and everything else. They trace, like they're like really advanced, like as far as
like telepathy.
Yep. They can do that. They have a whole hierarchy, like a whole like a social hierarchy, not like leaders and caste systems and everything, where they've just they're just discovering all this stuff recently. And they also are saying too that maybe octopuses came over here in an asteroid, because they also have found their DNA in like former asteroid fragments and stuff too.
Maybe the asteroids just like hit Earth so hard they just squished an octopus, or that. I would love to see Game of Thrones redone with octopuses.
Game of Thrones redone with octopuses.
Yeah, it's like there's a hierarchy of octopi.
The octopi.
Yeah, the octopi. Winter is coming, or the flood is coming.
The flood is coming.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
also, isn't that also why the Simpsons always put the aliens as octopus too?
Okay.
They're the alien conquerors.
Yeah, they are scarily on track and stuff. So, well, all
They
right,
are the Simpsons. It's crazy.
Yeah, they are oddly like on.
Well, that's because Matt Groening is a 33rd degree Mason. He's a master Mason, and so he's part of the ruling class that's trying to decide everything else. So, I mean, it's obviously.
Do we know this for a fact?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. He's a 33rd degree master Mason. Been forever. You can Google Matt Groening, master Mason. I mean, it's common knowledge.
All right, so there's been time for the biology of this plant that we're discussing has no known biological origin on Earth. It doesn't have a similar plant. It's completely alien.
Yep, 100%. And that's probably why it gives you that effect. It helps to open up, like so you can get downloads to the ether, basically. It helps you to connect to that other element that we also used to be in our periodic table that we forget about, the ether.
What about mushrooms?
Those open up a doorway, to the ether as well, like a moment, but it's only a doorway, and it's only, depending on your amount and stuff, you can stay locked in there longer and stuff. But then you also have to worry because you're not the only thing that's in the ether. You're not like, it's the ether. It's where anything's possible. It's like matter, space, everything. You get to see the perceptions, like the veil is lifted, and you get to see, like the realities merge together.
Are there any other plants that can't be traced back to their origin? Do you know?
Metasequoia. I can tell you that metasequoia that came before, like sequoia trees.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be an origin of that seed.
Does that do anything for you?
Well, in what they found in studies is that if you plant, some of these are 400 feet tall, right? And they're really big, 40, 50, 60 feet in diameter. If you were to place a forest like that strategically above ground using stone spheres under constructions, that they actually have very much an ability, just on an earthquake frequency ability, to basically transmute an incoming wave that could be shaking a village or a town or something, and it can cancel above ground effects of earthquakes.
Isn't there a city built all over those trees?
Well, I think you're thinking of the Ewok village.
Like Sicily is built all using logs and stuff. The whole.
Yeah.
So that's all built on like huge logs all around. So the whole entire area, and then because how it was built, they eventually turned to stone basically, and so it's like
Yeah, well, if you're talking about
petrified wood, yeah.
No, there's some cities where they've organized constructions and buildings above ground, below ground. I think the soil itself, where they're dealing with some sort of society at some point was able to deal with frequencies and energies that were managed through above and below ground. I think biological, and everyone thinks of stone. I talk foundations a lot, but I think sequoia trees were part of that network, and it at various levels, I don't think we had to worry as much about tectonic plate shifting and everything else. I mean, we've talked in the past on this show about, is petroleum abiogenetic or biogenetic? So is it artificial and self-replicating, and is it man-made, or is it a natural occurrence? And there's some arguments absolutely for both. And so is the planet showing signs of having ancient engineering, which could go all the way up into plant species? So on one hand, see, just because we have, by the way, I like to make an argument that whether or not biologically we say, well, look, there's this evolution of this one particular plant, and it was a big fern, and now it's a small fern, and everybody came that, all these ferns came from this one plant. That's not true. I think when you have a system that's not being managed anymore, but it also could be a result of artificial or intelligent design. It's just that some species lasted longer than others, and so maybe what we're talking about in reference to Aron's plant, that plant may look alien right away, but maybe it was literally a new generation of a new biological programming. It was like they planted it.
Mushrooms, and mushrooms are a very, like you mentioned mushrooms before. It's a very curious thing because that mushrooms supposedly that's how man advanced is mushrooms. They unlocked things in your brain, and that's actually how the consciousness in man and developed. And they have shown like in animals the same thing. And they could tell you in those stories, like the reindeer that fly, those reindeer actually would eat that little mushroom, the red one with like the little the white things, and that's like a hallucinogenic mushroom, and they would eat those, and then the deer would be all loopy and all crazy around. And so that's what they say, the reindeer were flying and stuff, because during Christmas it's actually based on like an old ancient like a Gaelic like ceremony and stuff where they would actually eat the mushrooms, and they would that was part of the ceremony and then they would like as well and that was kind of like the gift that they were giving each other, was like this mushroom which helps like unlock your gift, so that was kind of like
cool. So that what you got? What about, does it make you wonder about scobies?
Scobies those things are aliens. I wish I had brought some scobies.
Well, I'm going to need a couple from you before I leave. But yeah, so those things are weird, aren't they?
They are weird, and they're just filled with nutrients. So
I wonder if they are biblical manna. I wonder if I know it didn't fall from the sky, but what if what was falling from the sky were just like SCOBY jellies?
It's just so cool that it's a byproduct. That's all it is. It's just what produces. Yeah, it's what is going on during the fermentation in the fermented tea, and it's producing that SCOBY. So,
all right.
So you actually don't need a SCOBY to start a brew. You just need the starter.
Really?
Which is just the liquid that's at a lower pH. Yep. And it'll form its own SCOBY for you.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It just can manifest?
It will just manifest. As long as you keep feeding it or you add it to a new vessel. I mean, you could have a giant heart-shaped SCOBY if you wanted to, as long as the vessel was like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can you eat those things?
You can.
What?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't expect you to say that.
I know you didn't.
No.
What?
Yeah, no, I had a friend that was making kombucha and ate that stuff. Yeah.
So, all right, I do have a little recipe for it, which is actually not crazy, but you put your SCOBY, if it's a healthy SCOBY, in a blender with frozen fruit, and then you lay it out on parchment paper, and then you bake it in the oven at like 150 for like 6 hours.
It's almost like an energy bar. Yeah.
Pretty much, but you sprinkle sugar and citric acid on it, and then you can roll them up, and it's like a fruit roll up.
I feel like you're eating like a snail without a shell or something. Or
I didn't tell my kids what it was, and they loved it. And then I told them what it was, and they haven't fucking touched them again.
Oh, so. Dang it! They don't want to eat the alien baby.
They didn't want to eat the alien baby. No.
Man, no, Aron, you're not doing that.
What? No,
I didn't. Well, I didn't eat it either. I just fed it to my kids.
Hero would eat that.
It's healthy.
Okay. I don't know. Is there too much of that though? Like what's that? Oh, when you have too much bacteria in your gut, that's called, I can't remember what that's called again. If you have too much active bacteria, there's a term for it. Because you can overdo kombucha or fermented things, and you can end up with this basically way too much bacteria.
Really?
Yeah. But can't remember how that happens.
It's called a stomach ache.
Aron, what are we eating? What?
It's called a stomach ache. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope it stays there. Otherwise it could get even more nightmarish. So yeah, on the Halloween front and or the crystal front, and or the mysteries front. I guess we're still on mysteries. Is there anything that we haven't let you get into yet?
Nah. Yeah, I think the fun like crystal fact of the day is, like Tesla found that, that like terminated quartz crystals, when they're compressed, that they produce 5,000 volts per pound.
So
So
1 pound of crystal
cool.
will give you 5,000 volts of energy. 5,000 volts.
No, a quartz crystal. So
Yeah.
per, yep. So 1 pound when it's compressed will produce like 5,000, volts of electricity.
That's all crystal energy. And you have the patent information on that.
Yeah, yep. His last patent, I've got I sent you that. His last patent, US patent 1655114, was for a crystal powered aircraft. And so it was like, he's got the plans. He sent you all that stuff with the plans and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to have you back on and talk about that.
Wow.
A lot more details on crystal energy. There's some things that we could all be doing with it. That
a crystal powered aircraft already.
Yeah,
Tesla.
Yeah, that's what Tesla did. Yeah, that was back in like a while ago, a long time ago.
That was like in the 30s. Was that the 30s maybe?
Why isn't it coming out then?
1925, because once he died, the government seized all of his crystal research and they haven't released it yet. They haven't declassified any of that stuff. And supposedly he created like he had like a time travel device, like all this stuff, like supposedly. But like a lot of the stuff, he was like really about tapping into the ether. That was his whole thing, was just utilizing the ether, the energy fields that are all around you, and just like go and tap into that. And so he was all about free energy and everything else, which, like Elon Musk is, and, the Vedas, like we can talk about the Vedas, and all those other stuff, those like free energy devices that the Hindus used to have. And they show in like Bhagavad Gita, the little metal symbol that's got like the little symbol. It looks like a pyramid symbol on either side and stuff. And it's like a metal thing. And those are like crazy powerful things. They're like, which, that's another day, because I've actually got plans to make our own homemade Vedas as well. So
yeah, we have to save on that one.
Yeah,
we have to save that next time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, he made a lot of stuff, like a lot of the cool stuff. So, and we could actually make like our own solar power panels, because it's equal parts ground coal and ground quartz crystals. And that's what solar panels are. And then you could put an epoxy resin, have a little mold, and there you go. And like wire it up, and it's super easy. And there you can literally make your own like solar panels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your wheels are already spinning on the whole crystal 5,000 volts, and then and now there's solar panels as an option.
Yeah, and that's literally what all the regular solar panels are. They're equal parts coal and crushed quartz.
I saw a YouTuber do it, make panels out of aluminum.
Yeah, I saw it. There's another guy who does it out of CDs. He takes a ton of CDs and wires them with copper, drills them through, and then connects them all, puts in epoxy, and then he wires it all up, and then he uses the CDs as a solar power.
Oh man, we got so many options we're not implementing. Not okay.
Yeah, but
it is.
Well, and then it lets you know too that you don't have to worry about AI or any of that other stuff. Who cares if you're not part of the grid? You can literally live off the grid like comfortably without any technology, and like still have electricity, running water, running everything, so you can literally live as comfortably off the grid ourselves without having to be connected to anything. So
yeah, I agree.
Well, all right. So look, we have, and
growing your own vegetables too. Like as far as like the crystal technology, they had there's like the ether crystal devices that they used to put in gardens way back in the day, and they actually work so good that the FDA said, don't use these. Your yield is too big, and you're not going to be able to sell your product, and it's going to lower the cost of your product. And so that's why it's not because they didn't work; it's because they worked too good. And they were like, you're going to flood the market with too much products, and so you're going to lower your costs. So if you want to, and that's how they really made all the people not utilize the technology and just keep all that stuff hidden and everything.
What's your thoughts on
Yeah, your brain's been sitting a while. Get it out.
Well, now we started talking about crystals with like pretty much like farming or growing your own. So at the place that I work, I'm building a hydroponic system for our own microgreen farm at the system. What if I put a crystal in the reservoir with the water? That's a constant recirculation.
Yep. They actually they talked about it in this like study that I read, this like MIT study about like crystals and gardening hydroponic, where they actually talked about that they did do that in like the watering cells. That they put crystals because then they had them all hooked up to the same water and everything else, so it was going through all the different water.
Do you know if they found a higher yield?
Yeah,
like significant.
Yes.
Yep. And they were using crystals, and they were wrapping them in copper, and then doing like ethereal things that were also coming up out of there too. That's going to track like the ether field as well, and kind of like they can track that and stuff. And then they said like they actually had like psychics and other stuff, people that could kind of see energy fields, could actually see like the energy fields around the plants and stuff were actually bigger and stuff.
There's a whole rabbit hole here that we could go into that will definitely help for not only for that hydroponic, but I've been working on aeroponics for a long time.
Okay,
but it's the same thing. The principles behind the crystal technologies. Aaron, we're gonna have to do. I mean, I think it'd be interesting.
Are you talking about those tents, the aeroponic tents that you were?
Well, there's aeroponic stations that are the energetic benefits of the crystals and what you're doing, and you have a real environment that we could that could really show the benefits in. We should definitely, Aaron, have a conversation with you.
Now I can see your head spinning.
Yeah, because it's already been spinning this area for a real long time. So we can do a lot with this.
Okay.
This is absolute serendipity for this, because this is something I've been passionate about implementing in people's homes, but also for myself. And there's ways to do this that are going to everything from crystal and frequency and energy, but we're talking yields at. I mean, Aaron, which inventor died because of his copper technology?
It was William Riker.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they killed him.
Because
he was healing people. No, he was healing people.
Hey,
for
growing microgreens.
And he was healing people of cancer and other diseases and stuff in his orgone accumulators. And then the federal government said, don't do it. And then he kept on doing it. And so, of course,
we're talking allegedly, Aaron. We're talking allegedly live on YouTube. We're talking allegedly about what may or may not have happened to him. It's just all for entertainment currently.
No, but then once they researched and they released his research, like a college and the University of Oregon, the Oregon State actually did his studies, and they actually won like a Nobel Prize because they were able to duplicate his orgone energy, like the accumulators and some of his other like experiments. So they utilizing orgone energy as well. So they were actually able to like prove it that it actually worked.
Yeah. So there's some pretty crazy technology around the draw between crystal and copper and what could be implemented within your grow. You're going to be measurably better off.
Humans, we actually have crystals in our eardrums, and we are actually and the frequency is like the same frequency as like Earth and stuff, so our crystals kind of vibrate in our human as like the Earth does, and it kind of matches it and stuff like that too. So we're actually made of crystal stuff ourselves, and all of the carbon-12, like everyone likes to say, oh yeah, like 666, the number of the beast or whatever. That's actually carbon-12. That's like 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, which in carbon-12 is actually like 98.95% of the carbon in your body is made of carbon-12. And carbon-12 is actually not from Earth either. It's made in the stars, and carbon-12 originates in the stars. And so basically we're all kind of made of stars, if you think about it.
This is exactly what we need for tonight. This is the kind of stuff we need to contemplate.
Telling me I'm made of a star.
You are a star child. Namaste.
Or at least like the carbon-12 in our body. At least all the carbon-12 in our body is made up of stars. And that's the majority of
cool.
carbon in our body. So.
That's pretty cool.
So there you go. You are learning a lot more about why you want to have like microgreens.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of crystal do you get to like? How big of a crystal do you need? So many questions. So like,
how many crystals and how big, and quartz crystal mostly.
Well, and quartz is an amplifier. So quartz, it just amplifies. And so that's why we're able to be on cell phones right now, because it's great for timing because it keeps a perfect time, a perfect rhythm. Plus, they've actually proven that the quartz crystals actually are alive. They vibrate alive, and like they've proven so much with like MIT they've actually proved that the quartz stores data in like atomic lattice itself, so it stores all the data that it's uses. And then NASA is using these piezoelectric crystals in all of their deep space communication because it amplifies their signal, so they're able to send it way further than they could before. And I mean, we're just basically on like the basics of what you can actually do.
Yeah. Okay.
Got to wonder how big of a crystal that we find. The more we find, get a really big one. So you got to wonder how far they were maybe broadcasting.
Well, then you can also incorporate other ones too, like kyanite and selenite, which are self-charging crystals. So you want to incorporate those because they keep the other crystals charged, and so you don't have to worry about because crystals do attract stuff, and they do attract like energies and other stuff, and then they kind of get dull or dead, and they don't like vibrate or whatever if they're not like properly like cleaned, and everything else. So you also want to have and it's always good to have like a self-charging like crystal, because that way, if that one's placed among the other crystals like selenite or kyanite, it actually keeps the other crystals are charged. It operates on it stays charged.
When you say other in the area in the orbit, you mean like touching the other crystals?
Yeah, or they're like, it doesn't have to necessarily even be touching, although that is kind of how, but like in like right next, like you kind of want like, so they're all kind of where they're like in the same energy fields, like their same ethereal energy fields and stuff, which, it's not like you don't have to be touching, but, as long as their energy fields are kind of interacting, then it stays charged.
Does this mean that in the 13,000-year-old beer that you've heard of being found, did they ever find any crystals or?
No, but now you were asking me that question. Now I'm like wondering, like going back to like future things, but like putting crystals in, I don't know, man. Like,
well, we got some ideas.
How do you mess around with fermentation with crystals?
I think it's within the water, like Gronder water, Johann Gronder's water filtration systems, mineralization of water, Schauberger stuff.
For water filtration systems, you want to use shungite. That's the best thing. And they actually are now using shungite in like their big water filters. Like there's some companies that are actually using like the noble shungite, because noble shungite's the only like rock in the world that has fullerenes. And fullerenes are like these buggy balls. They're like these like soccer ball shaped molecules that they turn everything positive, and they spin in like a positive direction, and anything that's spinning in a negative direction, they get stuck in it and they can't escape it, and they end up turning positive too. So it transmutes all negative energy, all negative like everything, and turns it positive. And so that's actually like the buckyball shape is actually how so it's called like fullerenes, and it's actually, and they're alive too, and they actually, like that's how they administer drugs nowadays, into your body now, is with the buckyball shape, because that shape is like a perfect shape for like administering, like that's actually how they won. They won the Nobel Prize in like 91 or something like that. And that's like, it was like a whole new breakthrough with how they administer like drugs with shots. Like everything is done with the fullerenes, with the buckyball shape now.
So this is in the noble shungite filters for the water for the hydroponics would work.
Yep. Well, and the noble shungite too. The Tsar of Russia actually used to have all of his soldiers go to the shungite region, because that's where it's from, in that region, and he would have all of them take a piece of the rock, put it in their water bottles, and drink it. And they would all have benefits. They would like feel healthier. It's like the whole area, like area in Russia. So it's in like a Carnelia, Russia. in like the little Shungite mountains there and stuff, and that's kind of where it's from. But like that's like a total spa where people just come all over there. They'll like sit in the water. It's like healing, like all this stuff. It's like the purest water that you can drink. And actually, Shungite is the only thing that's been proven to actually be able to get rid of fluoride out of water. So it can actually get rid of fluoridation that's been put into water.
So noble shungite mixed with actually, so there's a whole list of things that Adam could be using for brewing and for hydroponics and aeroponics.
And filtering your water and stuff, especially since water quality is like super important and stuff. You know, just like having this super way to filter your water.
Do you ever need to clean the shungite, or does it just self clean?
No. I mean, it's like it's one that needs to be self cleaned, and the noble shungite is delicate. You know, it's not like hard. You know, it's different. Where there's hard shungite, I knew a girl that got like heavy metal poisoning because she made shungite water with using non-noble shungite. And so non-noble shungite is like it's like maybe 60%. It's maybe like 60% carbon based, where like noble shungite is like 99.95% carbon based, where that's why you're able to use it and able to drink it. Where the one she has, it's like 60% carbon based, like the non-noble, and like a bunch of other metals and other stuff in there. So she got like heavy metal poisoning from drinking like the water. So that's why you have to only use like noble shungite, because that's what will happen.
Wow, this got your brain going.
Yeah, I mean, I can go back to work with like a few things tomorrow that can pretty much up my game.
Yeah, starting tomorrow. So that wasn't unexpected for the night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's
pretty cool.
I think we pretty much covered that.
And they make like layers and stuff, and they have, and like the layers that you can actually make your own sulfur like water is you use like a sand layer. You know how you do like your water filter layers, you do a sand layer, and you do a layer of noble shungite and another sand and stuff, and kind of how you do your layers.
Interesting.
I'm just saying, this is all this can come full circle, because now we'll have better microgreens, better kombucha, better potential cider beer,
and some alien greens, you know.
Some alien greens.
All right, so we've covered the alien greens. Yeah, that was unexpected for the night. Alien greens. Is there anything else that we should cover? I don't know. I feel like this turned out to be. This is pretty much where we needed to go tonight for all of our Halloweeny times.
I'd be curious though, if you look back to like some of those ancient ruins, like where they had like the beer vessels, like if there were any crystals around.
Yeah, crystals are noble shungite.
They actually, and the Mayans, their whole filtration system was actually quartz, and they actually use zellulite, which is a quartz and stuff, and that's actually great for like filtering stuff. And zellulite pulls heavy metals. And so they like nowadays you can actually buy zellulite in like shots and stuff and take like little concentrated shots of it, and it'll actually pull the heavy metals out of your body. And that's what they would use. Then the Mayans is the zellulite pulls heavy metals out of the water, so all the heavy metals would get pulled out of the water as it would go through the zellulite, the filter systems that they had.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
So there's a number of things that need to be incorporated into the water that you need to
have. Zellulite is a crystal too. It's a crystal too as well. So I mean, it's.
I feel like everybody should just take zellulite then. I mean, we all should get heavy metals pulled out of our body, like
and parasites. Yeah, parasite cells, crystals, heavy parasites.
Zellulite.
Is that a meteoric crystal, or is that a local earth crystal?
No. Yeah, no. I mean, I usually just take shots. I go on, like, I go on like Amazon and buy like little droppers and stuff, and take like a shot a day and stuff. It's just like a little drop a day of the zellulite to help get rid of the heavy metals.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Like it doesn't have to be from Earth or anything, or it does or doesn't. We're gonna drink it.
I mean, I'm sure it's from Earth. I'm sure it's from Earth. The Mayans where they had enough of it where they were able to use it for their whole filtration system for their whole empire.
So are you guys like, or Aaron, are you under the impression that then drinking Goldschlager is a bad idea?
I don't know. Gold's actually good for you. It's a good conductor. I don't know if there's enough gold to actually.
like throw into your Goldschlager and like drink it? Just saying. I don't know. I really based this down, didn't I?
Goldschlager, yeah.
I haven't thought about Goldschlager since I was like, man, forever.
Yeah, well,
I feel like we bought that in high school just to be cool. Like just to say you might be gold.
I'm just up the street from where I bartended when the crap came out. So that dates me.
God.
It's like, we're gonna sell this. It has gold. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And everyone's like, ooh, I'm gonna drink gold. I'm like,
man, that's probably like 50 cents worth of gold or something, or not even, maybe like a dime worth of gold.
and a whole lot of Rumple Mints, whatever the hell was in it, whatever it actually was. I don't even know. It was like, it was like medicine water.
I'm so thankful I haven't drank for 2.5 years when you're talking about Rumple Mints.
I would never drink that. Man, that's like.
Aaron, you were in college. What were you drinking?
Not Rumple Mints.
It wasn't all that good German beer. It had to have been something else.
No, like Cisco and Night Train or whatever.
Cisco.
Oh my gosh. All right, nothing good.
No.
And what were you drinking then?
What was I drinking?
Yeah.
Then?
Oh no! Well, forget it.
I was drinking Red Dog in college.
Red Dog,
cheap beer. Yeah,
it was like cheap beer. Yeah, I think you can get like a 30-pack for like $10 or something.
$30? What, for $10?
Yeah, I mean,
so like I thought Old Milwaukee or Blatz.
Oh, this was below. Crandall. This was below Old Milwaukee.
Like not Colt 45. Like
I thought Colt 45 was good.
Yeah, the 40.
And that's why when original.
The 40. That's crazy. Like who sees 40s anymore, man? Like people used to. I got 2 40s. I'm good to go for the.
That was it. That's all it needed.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, look, and this isn't something. If this is a necessary topic to discuss this podcast. I mean, if this is needed, there's all the fun of alcohol, and then there's when there's too much fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to discuss the too much fun?
No.
Next time. We're gonna go.
No. I don't think anyone wants to discuss that. Everyone knows what happens.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's not ruin a Halloweeny episode, which it wasn't even brought up. But hey, I think we've covered it all. Aaron, do you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really.
Hey. Are you good to go, or is your wheel spinning? You got questions?
I'm good. I got questions and answers for tomorrow.
Okay, so then we're really good for the night.
Oh, another thing, with quartz too is it can also it also helps to treat like antibacterial infections and stuff too. So they actually show that.
Nice.
Okay.
And Tesla. He did like a quartz healing on himself. He had like a quartz resonator, and he never ever went to a doctor in his life and stayed healthy till the end of his life.
Quartz, all right.
Okay, so wait, when you say quartz for infections, you mean by keeping it near you?
No, they actually now they are actually so the Swiss have actually done like studies showing how quartz actually reduces inflammation markers on your body, and they're able to actually use it where it can it's antibacterial, so they'll use it in their tools and stuff because it resists infection. So they'll use it in their instruments and stuff, and then it can also detoxify radioactive waste as well. So
wait, so yeah, but how are you implementing it? Are you swallowing it? Or is it near you? Are you wearing it? How are you interacting with the quartz as a human body?
They're tools. They are, and it's reducing inflammation markers on your body as well. So,
right, but how are they doing it? You're wearing it as a necklace, or they're just using it over? Oh, you're just it's within tools, medical tools.
They're instruments and stuff, and that's what they're doing, and they're using it because it resists infection. So then.
I get it.
It's like another layer of a scalpel, but it's a super sharp, quartz crystal one, and so it's going to resist the infection as well on top of. So, I mean, it's basically like another thing of redundancy in medicine. It's like another.
Already a sanitary object. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, cool.
Redundancy in life, so it's always good to have redundancy.
Yeah. CYA.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, dude, do you want to tell everybody anything about where they can find you? Or are we good? Or are we good to we're going to close it out here soon?
Yep. Yeah. We're good. Yep.
All right. Well, any other final thoughts on where all this actually went?
I don't know. This is fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I think so too. Aron, we're going to see each other soon outside of the ether and in reality. And yeah, if you want to hang around backstage for a minute, I think Adam and I are going to close it out, and then we can chat more for a minute if you want to hang out. All right, cool. Hold on. So yeah, now it's back to us, and yeah, final comments on anything. I mean, this was I think
I learned a lot just about how much who would have thought I was going to learn about filtration with crystals?
Oh, that's a scratching of the surface of what Aron knows.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to him.
And I got some Victor Schauberger's work and Johann Gronder's work, and there's a few. These are people who have greatly affected water.
Yeah,
and I think it's more than just vitalizing it, making sure it has the mineral content, not just lacking in chemicals or bacteria, but having it be rich in the minerals that are needed. There's a huge difference between spring water coming out of a mountain and dead water through a pipe. That's been through a metal pipe and everything's been sucked out of it. It's as dead as it gets. Yeah. And then so to revitalize it, but then also to the crystal energy, not just the growth rate, but the quality, I think, of the construction, the whole point of the crystals in our computers and all the things, the reason it keeps the beat, it keeps a tempo. And I think that's happening, that it's affecting at the cellular level, at the atomic level. There's a theory about nuclear cold fusion happening within cellular systems within humans.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's untrue about anything that's alive.
Well, I think it'd be fun to get you in sometime this week and come check out the hydroponic system and then see how we can incorporate some crystals into it. And then we haven't started growing any yet, but we could get results.
This is cool because I've been experimenting with about a decade. I've been working on not just aeroponics and hydroponics are really they're not even cousins. They're like brother, sister. They're just it's just delivering the nutrients and how that's all that matters. And liquid, how many minerals are you using? Dr. Joe Wallach's 90 for Life vitamin, they have a 60 vitamin liquid mix so that you're not just growing the base fertilization system for plants is 16. That's all that's needed. However, there's up to Irish sea moss has 99 of 100 minerals.
Yeah, we can just run the water through the RO system, the reverse osmosis system, and we can break it down to zero. We could build up our own water how we wanted to.
Okay, so we have a lot to cover then at the actually getting into this, because there's also there's interest in growing. This is there. It seems like then there's a platform for us to maybe grow some of the most nutrient-dense food happenstancely. They just wanted to do it. Now we're just going to make it superfood.
Yeah, that is the goal. So right now at my job at Dayblock, which is NA, so making all of the kombucha, all of the prebiotic sodas, as well as I'm moving into urban farming. So running I didn't even think about doing aeroponics, to be honest, when maybe that is the route to go. It can inside of a building
one, it uses lesser amount of water. Two, just to give you an idea, a tomato plant can yield, it can basically triple to 500 times 5x the yield. You can basically get a tomato plant to go to over 130 pounds of tomatoes, but it's not just a quantity, it's a quality, because if you're atomizing water at that micron level, you're giving the roots exactly what they need. Then if you're including the nutrients
Yeah.
and delivery system, you're also increasing grow times
Yeah.
by like over 300%. So they're growing bigger. They're growing 3 times as fast.
Decreasing grow times.
Yes, right. So they're growing that much faster.
Yeah.
3 times faster than they would if they were not.
Yeah.
So, and aeroponically, you're essentially putting them in a liquid soil, which is great. And they're growing faster.
Yeah.
But if you are, NASA developed the whole aeroponic side. And so, yeah, you're being way more efficient with everything. So
we have lots to discuss.
Yes. So we're going to get on with it. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for joining in and sitting in on this, and we'll have to do it again. And mind you, I'm traveling, Adam's hosting. We'll get all of our fancy lighting and everything else. And for those of you listening on the podcast catchers everywhere, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.